Welcome to the story of the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, like you've never heard it before.
This story isn't told to you by the one Dragonborn that masters all, but told to you through the eyes of many different characters.
From soldiers in the Civil War seeking peace and order,
to seeking freedom and to remove the weakness from her lands.
From those cursed by the night, seeking to be the vigil in the darkness.
To warriors seeking honor, glory, and companionship.
To a shapeshifter and worshipper of the Daedra who seeks to live a life as a warrior.
To a mage seeking power and the arcane knowledge of Aetherius.
To assassins seeking fear and bringing the cold touch of Sithis.
To thieves seeking wealth beyond measure.
We all hope you enjoy
this story
of the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim.
Chapter 42, The Return. Winter has arrived in full force during the final days of the year 201. This year has proven to be the most dangerous in Skyrim during my 200 years here. Civil war engulfs Skyrim with the Empire facing defeats, and vampires raid villages and cities under the cover of night. As winter settles in, the attacks now occur during the day while the sun is obscured by blizzards. Skyrim has become an exceedingly perilous place. To add to the mess of Skyrim, I now hear frightened people inside inns discussing dragons and their supposed return. This is the last thing that this land needs right now. I hope it's merely a rumor, but given the unpredictable nature of Skyrim, I wouldn't be surprised if it were true. I've never been this occupied in Skyrim. I'm not just hunting down criminals anymore. I'm also combating or fending off vampire attacks. I'm concerned that I may struggle to keep up with the unfolding events. Fortunately, I have Zarita by my side. She has proven to be an invaluable ally. When I took her in, I feared she would succumb to the vampire's influence, but she hasn't. In fact, she has exceeded my expectations. Her rapid progress, training, and resilience have truly impressed me. I dare say she may even surpass me. With her dedication and strength, I believe she will make an exceptional vampire vigilant, perhaps even better than myself. If I were to meet an unfortunate fate or be turned to ash, I find solace in knowing that she will continue to protect the people under her guard. I am grateful that I welcomed her into my life, and she has grown to be incredibly significant to me. She has only been a vampire for a few short months. Initially, I believed she was turned to join the vampires that plague Skyrim. However, in turning her, these vampires made a grave error. I am confident that she will adapt to these dangerous times. She is, after all, a survivor. Zarita will seek vengeance against those who took the life of her loved one and transformed her into a creature of the night. Together, we will ensure that they pay for the atrocities they have committed, standing by her side throughout this quest for justice. Our mission remains unchanged, to track down and eliminate those who target the innocent. The winter season does not deter bandits from preying on the good people of Skyrim. Instead, it simply means they will be huddled around fires at night, presenting us with an opportunity to root them out more effectively. As winter reaches its peak, the mindless undead now roam the roads, posing a threat to travelers. If I were mortal, distinguishing them during a blizzard or in the darkness of night would be challenging. Even then, I found it difficult as the rain hindered my sense of smell, making it challenging to detect the undead. It is more prudent to eradicate this vile scum entirely. It is preferable for them to lie lifeless in a pool of crimson than for vampires to infiltrate and transform them into a bloodthirsty army. Their lives had no value anyway. It is more beneficial for them to be deceased, rather than controlled by whatever menace is transforming bandits into vampires. The only purpose of these bandits' lives was to feed us, enabling us to continue combating the evils that plague Skyrim. Their blood would serve as our fuel to safeguard the honest and virtuous people of Skyrim from any threats that may endanger their lives. As I mentioned earlier regarding Zarita, she has grown to be significant to me. Our bond extends beyond the battle against evil. We have, developed a close connection, you could say. It occurred around a month ago when I noticed her sitting beside the fire, appearing to contemplate the idea of surrendering to its warmth. By that point, she had become a dear friend, and I felt compelled to check in on her well-being to ensure that she was okay. It had been 200 years since I had last had a friend, especially one like myself. She embraced me and confided that she was feeling alone, She expressed her longing for Revolia, her partner before she was turned. Revolia tragically lost her life when Zarita was captured by the vampires. And then, unexpectedly, she kissed me. I was completely taken aback and not particularly pleased by her actions. I couldn't help but wonder what was going through her mind at that moment. When I pushed her away, she appeared genuinely frightened, exhibiting true fear. I was simply in shock. I didn't know what to make of it. I mean, you just don't surprise someone like that. I haven't been that close to somebody in over 200 years. I realized that I had been too angry. Truth be told, her actions made me feel wanted in a way I haven't since becoming a vampire. I suppose I was so impressed by her abilities that I forgot she is still relatively new to being a vampire and still young to the world. So I let her in. It had been 200 years since I had been with someone, and considering the state of Skyrim, these days may be our last. Therefore, we should cherish them. Besides, she is fighting alongside me in this battle. After 200 years, it's truly gratifying to have someone who desires me. I had been so singularly focused on the mission. Even after raising Freya, my immediate instinct was to resume my pursuit of hunting down the vile and malevolent forces in Skyrim. Now I have someone by my side who shares the same mission. Someone I can form a close bond with. I am cautious about getting too attached or portraying this as a long-term commitment. However, for the present moment, it feels right. We can continue hunting down the scum while also relishing each other's company at home. It remains to be seen whether this bond will strengthen us as we confront our enemies together, or weaken us if we prioritize saving each other. I will observe how things unfold. For now, engaging in intimacy and having someone to share closeness with feels comforting. It has indeed been a long time. During one of our missions to rescue someone abducted by bandits, as we journeyed back to their home, the sun began to rise. Along the road, we encountered the vigilance of Stendarr. I was a founding member of that group. Surprisingly, even to this day, they still have a bounty on me, despite all that I have done for Skyrim. But they continue the fight that we started. I will only resort to violence if they initiate an attack against me. Following the destruction of their hall by a vampire assault, they may exercise more caution in choosing whom to point their blades at. If they don't provoke me, I'll let bygones be bygones. The sun. It's quite repulsive. I recall a time when I enjoyed the sun's warmth on my skin, eagerly rising early to witness its ascent. However, now it leaves me feeling unwell, drained when it shines. I wish I could remember how it looked before I became a vampire. I think he knew what we were. I only ever see that expression when people are repulsed by the presence of a vampire. We should return to Riften to claim the bounty and await the cover of night once more. On our journey to Riften, we stumbled upon fresh blood with no body in sight. Perplexed by the scene, we suddenly heard a roar, a chilling sound that instilled fear even in my undead heart. What in oblivion was that? Was that a dragon? The rumors were true. A wave of fear washed over me as I grappled with the reality of the situation. I was filled with dread for the fate of Skyrim. When I heard that roar, panic and fear gripped me, as if my days were numbered. Since becoming a vampire, the only fear I've known is the thought of losing Freya. This new threat is the last thing Skyrim needs at this moment. Skyrim now stands at the intersection of three harbingers of doom: civil war, vampires, and now accursed dragons. And all of this turmoil unfolds while Skyrim remains divided by war. May Stendarr have mercy upon Skyrim in these dark times.
Winter has come, bringing with it a host of new troubles. Vampires are now launching attacks on cities and villages, moving about during the day in significant numbers. Whenever I catch the scent of these abominations, my primal instincts take over. Despite this, I continue with my usual pursuits. Hunting down bandits for gold, a skill I learned from Cecilia. It was a winter much like this one, 18 winters ago, when Cecilia discovered me on the brink of freezing to death by the roadside. She had no obligation to offer me shelter, yet she did so willingly. Cecilia, a vampire, took in a 10-year-old girl and nurtured her into strength. I was raised with a deep-seated aversion towards vampires, while she harbored animosity towards Daedra worshippers. Despite our contrasting backgrounds, she became the mother figure I had longed for. She saved me from certain death and dedicated years to raising me. Instead of relying on my natural claws, she taught me the ways of steel. At that young age, I couldn't transform. Pureborns like me cannot shift until reaching maturity, unlike the cursed. When a cursed person transforms as a child, it tears their bodies apart. It's a rarity for a child to survive a werewolf attack, an occurrence that is exceptionally uncommon. Werewolves possess an innate heat that surpasses that of ordinary people. With the blood of the wolf flowing within us, enduring the cold comes more naturally. Additionally, due to my Nord heritage, I can withstand the cold better than most. With Skyrim at war with itself, it is important that I keep working. We need bounty hunters out there putting down criminals while the soldiers and guards fight. It seems the rebellion is winning the war. I don't care which side wins in this war. It's better that Nords rule Skyrim rather than some outlander emperor. Cecilia would strongly disagree, considering she was once an Imperial soldier during the Third Era when the Oblivion Gates emerged across Tamriel. The empire she served back then appears vastly different from the current one in my eyes. When looking for work, it's always good to check the boards for bounties. Or even asking the local innkeeper if there was any bounties they had lying around. Not all the bounties are bandits hiding in some cave or fort. Some are on their own, hiding in a hole they don't have a bounty with. Sometimes they come to the inns to drink where I can find most of them. Normally, inns serve as an ideal resting place for bounty hunters between jobs. It's strange why these criminals choose to frequent inns and indulge in drinks, considering they are surrounded by individuals tasked with capturing them. I strive to bring them in alive as it yields better pay. But there are instances where I am left with no choice. There are the conventional no-surrender types, and then there's working with Cecilia. She always apprehends them ruthlessly. She beheads them and then feeds on them, showing criminals no mercy. I once spared a bandit, and now she roams the roads as a mercenary. Sometimes, it's permissible to extend mercy to those who may not appear deserving of it. Occasionally, even those deemed bad can perform remarkable deeds. For those who persist in causing turmoil and refuse to surrender or seek redemption, their fate is swiftly sealed by my axe or my helmet. Or by my claws if the numbers are too great. I think most of Skyrim knows who I am. They know that I'm a werewolf, but most still fear me, that they have forgotten that pureborns are a thing. Those born to werewolf parents are inherently wolves. Our eyes reflect the full moon, and we possess the ability to command our transformations. The fear of losing control to the wolf does not plague us, for we are the wolf itself. However, such things are not commonly taught to ordinary people. When they think of werewolves, they think of monstrous creatures that appear during the full moons and that hunt people during the night to feed on their hearts. It's not that far from the truth, but it's more just fear-mongering. I get looked at in inns with sharp eyes, like they're getting ready for me to turn so they can run. The guards don't bother me. They understand that I mean no harm, or perhaps they are too afraid to confront me, fearing that I might transform. The Jarls recognize that I pose no threat, so they do not trouble me. I appreciate this arrangement. I can carry out my work, and they benefit from having their holds cleaned of criminals. What in the hunting grounds was that roar? That made me feel uneasy. Was that a god's damned dragon? There's no way. I must take a closer look. Dragons returning to Skyrim after thousands of years? The presence of dragons is the last thing these lands need right now. With civil war and vampires already causing turmoil, the addition of dragons will turn Skyrim into a living nightmare. By her scene, that is a dragon. What in Oblivion happened for them to return? What is going on right now? Haven't things become crazy enough? I witnessed firsthand how a dragon effortlessly slaughtered mages. How are mere men supposed to combat these formidable creatures? How did we succeed in defeating them once before? In the past, Skyrim stood united against the dragons. Now we are divided, fighting amongst ourselves over who should be the High King or Queen. We have little hope of standing against these dragons in our current state of disunity. I got to get the Oblivion out of here. Get back home where it's safe. It seems that Bloated Man's Grotto is a secure haven. I believe Her Scene safeguards this place, as winter's chill does not penetrate its boundaries. It's a unique blend of coolness and warmth. Cecilia speculates that this location might be a pocket realm of oblivion, a sanctuary within the hunting grounds. I am uncertain about the future of Skyrim with the sudden appearance of dragons. However, I hold on to hope that Skyrim can make it through this.
It is I, Minerva, your favorite Altmer. Talented mage, scholar, archaeologist, explorer, and archmage of the College of Winterhold. Once again, I grew bored of the idle routine at the college. I ventured out in search of ancient knowledge on powerful destruction spells. I desired to experience winter in Skyrim. Winter is the very reason why I hold the position of Archmage at the College of Winterhold. I journeyed there to study magic while... What in oblivion? That was a dragon! What in the Eight Divines are they doing back? This can't be good for Skyrim. With a civil war raging across the land and vampires causing trouble, the return of dragons is the last thing this place needs. I fought one of them a year ago. It was nothing but bones at that time, yet even now I feel the same dread I experienced back then. It's astounding how something like that can make you feel so small and insignificant. I was out on the roads to discover ancient spells that had been forgotten. I was given a book by Feralda a few months ago called Power of the Elements. The book needed to be taken to ancient temples, placed on some altar, and hit with spells. Over that time, I discovered where I needed to take them, and now seemed like the right time. The first clue led me to the Windwood Ruins. Here I needed to cast a fire spell on the book. The book remained untouched by the fire, thankfully. I was concerned about how foolish this task seemed, but the book does appear to be enchanted. It appears that the war is shifting in favor of the Nords. Whiterun is now under their control. If there's one thing Nords excel at besides drinking, it's fighting in the cold. The Imperials are likely to struggle this winter. The next clue on the book reads, Under Greybeard's morning shadow. At this northern watch, long-lost Nirn's hoary throat does scrape the sky. Here, unleash a chilling cry and gild this stand with frost. It seems like the next location is North Skybound Watch, where I will discover the next altar for this book. I got a little lost on the way up and encountered bandits freezing beside a small fire. They left me no choice but to end their suffering. Tamriel is better off without their kind anyway. At least they will serve as a meal for the wolves. I finally found North Skybound Watch. It was also occupied by bandits gathered around a warm fire. Unfortunately for them, I had to get past them. Now that they were dealt with, I could place the book on the pedestal and cast a frost spell on it. With all the loud noises of my magic tearing through flesh, one of these dragons that have returned heard me up here. Tolfdir had a spell in the works that required a heart scale from a dragon. I couldn't collect them back then, but I can now. We shall see how these creatures deal with my magic. It's time to take down a dragon. Again. It landed. I felt like it landed just to toy with us, to lure me out into the open. But I wasn't falling for that. If it can breathe fire, I'm staying behind walls. I soon came to realize that I stood no chance. My magic had no effect on this creature, as if I was shooting iron arrows against Daedric armor. A truly living dragon is far beyond my ability to handle. If my magic does nothing against it, what will? And how will we stand a chance to defeat these creatures? It was just toying with me, allowing me to cast spells at it while my magic had no effect. I swear that dragon was smiling. If I stay, I die. While it's grounded, I better flee into the woods. If every dragon is like that, Skyrim is going to face a serious problem very soon. The civil war and vampires won't even matter. The next clue reads, Over western river waters, by Karth bounded, south and north. On mountains sits a humble crown, skies wrath on this stand bring forth to shake these snowcaps down. It took me a while to find this one, but the Karth River was in the reach. Eventually, I found this ancient ruin. The Reach was once so dangerous that not even bandits would set up camp here. But after I defeated the Reachman King, their numbers have dwindled and their tribes have split. I'd still much prefer dealing with bandits because of their straightforward nature. The Reachmen use magic and arrows, making them a formidable group for anyone to contend with. I had taken the book to 3 locations as it has been written. If I read the book, I shall unlock ancient spells that others have forgotten. Spells so powerful that they were lost to time. The power I could feel coursing through me is immense. It feels like I could crack Mundus open. Anything within 15 meters of me will be turned to ash. It was getting late, and the last thing I wanted was to be out during the night in the winter. I could freeze to death or be eaten by vampires. The closest place was Markarth, and it was well fortified. So that's where I would spend the night, on a stone bed. I didn't particularly like Markarth because of its all-stone architecture. However, the city is truly a marvel, and the secrets it still holds are amazing. Stone beds might be rough, but the Dwemer knew how to regulate the temperature in their structures, so at least it won't be cold inside. I better get rid of these Daedra. The Nords tend to get quite upset with mages and their summoned pets. As soon as I walked through the door, a Dunmer stopped me and demanded to speak with me.
It's made of Ethereum, pure Ethereum. Where did you find it? Tell me. What? You found the forge? The Ethereum forge? Catria? No, that's not possible. You know too much. I can't afford to let you live. Guards! Kill her!
The fool attacked me because of my circlet. Was he foolish to try to murder me in a public place? These imbeciles stood no chance against my magic.
That takes care of that. Don't set anything on fire, all right?
There's no shipments coming in, so I do nothing. Just drink.
His name seems familiar, like I had seen it written in a book before. Ah, yes. He's the one who wrote The Ethereum Wars, based on the knowledge he stole from his deceased teacher, Catria. She assisted me in constructing this Ethereum circlet, and I aided her in finding peace. That explains why he wanted to eliminate me. He would go to any lengths to prevent his deception from being exposed. Typical swine taking credit from others, he got what he deserved.
Winter has come to Skyrim, and with it many other problems, like vampires. Civil war is still burning across Skyrim, even while the snows fall all across the land. The Companions are still fighting strong. I have held the title of their Harbinger for 9 months. Since becoming the Harbinger, I have reformed how the Circle operates. Warriors no longer require the beast blood to join. They are now judged based on their merit, skill, and honor in battle. We've welcomed many new recruits, including a young Imperial who joined us after recovering from a bandit attack. Initially unfamiliar with swordplay, she has shown great dedication to her training and has become a quick learner. She possesses the potential to become a formidable warrior. Even though becoming a werewolf is no longer required, Octavia took a closeness with Ayla, and she has joined her as a wolf. Being a companion entails more than just being a mercenary. It's about being part of a family. We protect and fight alongside each other. If Ayla believes she needs another werewolf by her side, then so be it. I won't judge anyone based on their religion or the Daedra they worship. As long as you raise your shield to defend your shield siblings, that's what truly matters. It wouldn't even matter if I wanted her out. Ayla is the longest-serving fighting companion here. Vignar is the oldest, but he no longer participates in combat. Additionally, he is now the new Jarl of Whiterun, with the Stormcloaks in control. Ayla has been a companion since before I could even walk. With the war raging on and winter covering Skyrim in snow, the companions have never been so needed. Bandits, giants, and forsworn. We still have a job to do. And now there's news of dragons. Some say they could see one flying around Fellowship Keep. The guards found massive claw marks and dead mages everywhere. so during these times the companions need to be out here in the wilds, reminding the scum of Skyrim what we do. If dragons are back, Skyrim is in some serious trouble. Thousands of years ago they enslaved Nordkind. It was only when they all united that they stopped the dragons. Now they are too concerned with whose cheeks keep the throne of Skyrim warm. The Stormcloaks captured Whiterun after the initial failed attack back in Rain's hand. I supported the Imperials in that battle, not because I sided with them, but because the Stormcloaks were launching artillery into my home, prompting me to defend against them. During the attack at the end of Frostfall, I did not assist the Imperials. The Stormcloaks on this occasion were not targeting the destruction of my home. The Stormcloaks appointed Vignar Greymane as the new Jarl of Whiterun, sparing me from being imprisoned and executed for halting their initial assault. Vignar is poised to be an excellent leader for Whiterun. As he guides the people of Whiterun, I will lead the companions in combat, securing us both glory and wealth. Anyone who desires to join our family and fight alongside us is welcomed, whether they are seasoned warriors or those who have never wielded a blade. There is always more glory to be attained for those who stand with us. We require additional warriors to stand and fight alongside the companions. It is essential to revive the reputation and optimism associated with our name.
Good to have you by my side, friend. I need reliable people around. I do. A personal matter. My father died trying to negotiate the Forsworn, back when that was possible. They took his shield to those Hargraven beasts they consort with. I need you to bring it home where it belongs. I warn you, it's dangerous work. No man of mine...
When I arrived to collect the bounty for the Forsworn, the Jarl recognized me and presented a task for the companions, to recover his father's shield from the Forsworn. Declining the request would be considered an act of cowardice. However, the place where he requested me to retrieve his father's shield was a well-known Forsworn stronghold. I put out a call for mercenaries to join us, offering the best selections of loot and an opportunity to fight alongside the companions. Surprisingly, some came forward to assist us on this mission. We had a Nord Redguard halfling named after a god who considered herself a protector join us. We had a Nord Reachman who hated the Forsworn join us, and mercenaries traveling Skyrim also joined us. With these numbers, we should stand more than a chance against the Forsworn Reachman. On our way to this Forsworn stronghold, we come across a corpse surrounded by ash. It smelled like vampire ash, and he looked like one of those Dawnguard hunters getting around. Looks like he went out fighting. He died well. I think we should aid this Dawnguard, but right now we're too busy cleaning up Skyrim of its foul sorts. With the companions by their side, the vampires wouldn't stand a chance. If there are two things I hate, it's magic and Bretons. These foul bastards fight dirty, lacking any honor or integrity. They are nothing but savages who deserve the sword. Sacrificing children to the Daedra, killing these animals makes me a little warm inside. I'm not one to sneak around or search for weak points. I prefer to confront my enemy head-on, witnessing the fear in their eyes as I close in to part their head from their body. If I am to bring an end to your life, I believe in granting you the respect of facing you up close. You will not meet your demise from the shadows or through magic. You will see me, face to face. I will witness that smirk transform into fear, observing those once lively eyes become vacant as they gaze into oblivion. I will stand tall over you as your blood chills over the snow, ensuring you know it was me who brought about the end of your life. I may be a companion, but there is one thing I excel at, one thing I derive the most pleasure from in this world, taking the lives of those who do not deserve it with my own hands. I was put on Tamriel to kill. There are never enough Forsworn to kill. Equip me with a blade and have my shield siblings at my back, and anything that stands before us will not see tomorrow. Took on this job for the honor of the companions, yet deep down, it allows me to satisfy the primal nature within me. To end lives, to send foul souls to the afterlife, and for me, that alone is reward aplenty. When my pockets are full and my blade stained red, I consider it a day's work done well. By the end of today, I aim to paint this ruin red with the blood of the Forsworn. After I'm finished here, vampires from all across Skyrim will be able to smell this place for weeks. I intend to leave them a feast that will last them a year within these walls. This was their sanctuary, their stronghold in the depths of winter, a shelter to keep them warm as they endured the cold season. However, they will not be waiting out the winter. Their lifeless bodies will. The companions have arrived, signaling the arrival of their final day. It's time to paint the snow red with Forsworn blood. While I may not be a Nord by birth, this land is where I was born. Just like any Nord, my blood runs hot. If there's one thing we have in common, it's our passion for battle and the desire to emerge victorious. Witches and hag ravens. Nothing is more repugnant. I'm going to enjoy this. No mercy shall be granted to such mages, engaging in child sacrifices, summoning dark entities, and practicing the darkest forms of magic. All deserve to rot. That foul hag. She can't hide forever. Sooner or later she will taste my steel. Yet another one of these walls. Why does it persist in bothering me that they hold significance? No more hiding, you foul bitch. It's time to meet your end. The job's done. We obtained the shield for the Jarl, and we successfully eradicated a nest of these savages. I had the opportunity to end lives, and now it's time for us all to receive our payment. However, we will remain for the night and ensure a proper burial for any of our fallen. We lost a mercenary from Cyrodiil who fought valiantly and fearlessly. Her memory will be honored. Additionally, we lost a Khajiit archer in the battle. Despite the losses, losing only 2 warriors is considered a success when facing an army of the Forsworn. Everyone present fought valiantly, including both companions and hired help. If any of them wish to join us, I would gladly welcome their skills and dedication into the companions. We require more members dispersed throughout Skyrim, beyond those residing in Whiterun. Having members actively engaged in various tasks or capable of calling for aid will contribute to making Skyrim a safer realm.